You got 5 hours.
5 hours. The big race. It's time. It's time. Get up. Come on, sleepy, get up. I can't believe you're still sleeping. I'm more excited than you are. Okay, look. What do you think the other drivers' wives will be wearing? I hate
Wives? Did I hear wives?
I said wives. I got ahead of myself for a minute.
You said wives.
It's a slip of the tongue, Alex.
Well, I like that slip. I like that tongue, too.
Alex, aren't you a little bit nervous?
Nervous? No. I've seen it all in advance. Vroom, checkered flag. Vroom, honeymoon in the Bahamas.
Listen, let's just take one zoom at a time.
We'll win that race, honey. You watch. There ain't no one out there that can stop me.
A modern day remake of Matthew Vaughn's Lay a Kick. A Coen brothers end up with Timothy Chalamet.
A Citizen Kane prequel, a Midnight Cowboy sequel. Alvin and the Chipmunks deserve another squeak.
There's so many new ways to revisit sideways, but a graphic novel is how we choose to update.
But we still hold fast, you can't change the past on the Ruined Childhoods podcast.
On our last F episode, we spoke about Orson Welles' 1973 experimental pseudo-documentary, F for Fake, the story of a famous art forger who spent his life on the run, ultimately finding refuge on Ibiza. But since Orson Welles can't help himself, he dedicates the final act of his film to tell the alleged story of his real-life girlfriend, Oya Kodar, and how her beauty enchanted famous painter, Pablo Picasso, inspiring him to create 22 sketches of her perfect form. To find out how this connects to art forgery, you'll have to watch the film or listen to that episode. But artist and renowned sex pest Pablo Picasso's legend exists in ways that a simple podcast introduction cannot begin to explore. We all know his famous Cubist works, neoclassical masterpieces, and the iconic Blue Period. There are even quite a few films, television shows, stage productions that depict the life and times of the famous painter, or at least elements and fragments of his life. In 2018, Antonio Banderas portrayed Picasso in an episode of the award-winning Nat Geo program Genius. In 2011, Argentine actor Marcial Defonso Bo played Picasso in Midnight in Paris, directed by sex pest Woody Allen. In the early 1990s, Tim Hopper appeared as the artist in the original Broadway cast in Steve Martin's Picasso at the Le Panegile. And in 1996, James Ivory and Ismail Merchant brought us Surviving Picasso, in which the titular Picasso is portrayed by Sir Anthony Hopkins. Hopkins, a working actor since the late 60s, drudged through role after role with little to no recognition until he broke through as killer cannibal Hannibal Lecter in 1991's The Silence of the Lambs, after which he quickly became a Hollywood staple. But at the same time he was filming his now iconic role, he also appeared in one of the biggest duds of the 90s, which was so poorly received even Hopkins himself called it terrible on The Late Show with David Letterman. Rest in peace, late night shows. But you know what? We're going to talk about it anyway. Greetings, Starfighters. This is Ruined Childhoods. I'm John, here with my brother Dan, and this week we're talking about Freejack, the story of a famous race car driver who is on the run after being sucked into the future and hunted by a billionaire for his body. Dan, if you were dying and could zap anyone from the past and take over their body, who would it be?
Oh, okay. All right.
I debated like all week if I was going to like prep you with that question, and I decided against it.
No, so all right, so I'm zapping someone just like from the past.
Somebody who is now dead. And
Okay.
also it's just like it would have to be like on the verge of their death, Freejack style. So I don't know. It would have to be kind of like how Emilio Estevez went.
Well, I mean,
tragically and suddenly.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. I mean, I guess then if I, put on the spot as I am and, fresh on the brain as he is from our, previous episode, I will say James Dean.
And that's, I think, the obvious answer for most people, because a sudden and tragic death. And also it's like, oh, and I could also be in the body of like the coolest motherfucker to ever roam the planet.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would maybe find like a more obscure answer but like just off the top of my head, and when you think about those circumstances, because like it can't be discoverable. It can't be oh yeah, like they were there and they said their last words and then they just vanished.
No, absolutely, yeah.
No, it needs to be. Yeah, so I don't know, John. Who would you body snatch?
I mean, James Dean is such a. I know, like you said, it's an obvious one, but it's like, how can you do better?
It's also a great answer. I mean, like you can even say like JFK because very public and.
But then what would happen is. You go to the Zapruder film and his body just disappears.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
He just vanishes.
Like, that's what I'm saying is you can't, by the laws of Freejack, you cannot do that. The McCandless Corporation would not allow it.
No, they most certainly would not. But yeah, like a car crash where things, yes, there was like the person that crashed into him or he crashed into. I think that they would be the only person around that could even acknowledge that there was a person in the car.
Right. Wow. I feel like maybe I should just jump into the synopsis because it's like we're already talking about the story of the movie and anything that I'm thinking about. I'm like, and this is a brief synopsis here. So, all right. So if you're not familiar with Freejack, why else would you be listening to this? I don't know. Maybe you're never sure. And this is you're dipping your toe into the water and you're like, do I, commit myself to that hour and a half of my life? And, or
maybe it's a movie that maybe it's a movie that you've heard of, but just like don't know anything about.
I mean, yeah, like absolutely. You might remember it from the early 90s. So, anyway, here's what happens in Freejack. Just as he's about to experience a fatal crash, race car driver Alex Furlong is transported into the future so his body can be the new host for a billionaire's consciousness. Before the body-snatching technicians can execute their plan, Furlong becomes conscious and escapes, trying to piece together where he is, when he is, and who he can trust as he fights for his life. As the titular Freejack, Alex Furlong, we have Emilio Estevez.
Yeah, we do.
As his love interest and an executive at the McCandless Corporation who kind of like controls this technology. So as Julie Redlin, we have Renee Russo.
Jules. Yeah.
Jules. Yes. Funny connections there to something down the road.
Yes.
I was like, ooh, foreshadowing. I will come back and talk about Freejack on that episode, but,
can't wait.
As McCandless, the CEO of the McCandless Corporation, we have Sir Anthony Hopkins as the bounty hunter Vicendic, who is hunting down Furlong. John, the look on your face tells you that you appreciate the performance.
We'll talk about all this
of Sir Michael McJagger as well as I assume he's been knighted at this point, but anyway, Mick Jagger as Vicendic. Fabulous. We also have in there, speaking of rock icons, David Johansen as Furlong's, like his kind of like agent from when he's alive, and kind of like, the first person he tracks down when he arrives in the future, which is 2009. So,
right. This is a 1992 movie.
Early 1992. Yeah. So this was a 1991 table scrap.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Like January 17th, 1992, it's released, which mere weeks before Anthony Hopkins gets nominated for Best Actor.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, who else? We have Jonathan Banks as Michelet, who's like one of McCandless's top executives.
Yeah.
As Vicendic's right-hand man, one of my favorites, Esai Morales.
That's right.
Yeah. Always happy to see Esai Morales pop up. And
I wouldn't say I'm always happy to see him pop up, and we'll get to that.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm like, what did he do? What don't I know about him?
Oh,
personally?
no. He's not a problematic person to my knowledge, but
yeah. Yeah, and who else? Frankie Faison in there, my old bowling buddy.
Your old bowling buddy.
I'm sure I told this story when we talked about the Hannibal Lecter movies, but
Okay.
really quick, once upon a time when I was acting and I was involved in the like regional theater scene in Northeast New Jersey, Frankie Faison's wife ran a theater company there. I want to say it was Luna Stage Company.
Now I'm remembering.
And there was kind of like this, like New Jersey theater, like North Jersey Theater Alliance, like little bowling league, like once a week. We'd go bowling, and Frankie was there at least 1 week, and he was good. He had like the glove and everything. Like,
was he eating fried river rat?
He was. At that bowling alley, might have been. I don't remember the name of the bowling alley. I remember I think it was in like West Orange, New Jersey.
Okay.
So it was a pretty nice bowling alley. But I do remember bowling with him, so it's always fun for me to see him pop up in things.
Yeah, and his role in this isn't extensive, but he's got a pretty solid scene in there and a little extra,
And hey, a little like Silence of the Lambs reunion here. Not that they share
pre-union, they probably were filmed right around the same time.
Yeah, I mean they don't share any screen time. I also don't know the timeline for this. So this was directed by Jeff Murphy, who also directed Young Guns too.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know like the timeline of when this would have been filmed, but like Young Guns 2 comes out in August 1990. Did Emilio? I think Men at Work came after this.
Was that 92 also?
I think that was 91.
Okay.
I think Men at Work.
Well, the timeline is all messed up because
yeah, well, we don't know.
This
we
was
don't know.
Filmed long before it came out.
Yeah, like I didn't see exactly when this was filmed, but
that was
you got
1990 was Men at Work.
Oh, 1990 was Men at Work. Okay, all right. So it feels like this was kind of filmed and then maybe kept on the shelf. I'd read it had a really disastrous test screening for whatever that means. Like that might have been a really good film that just had either it was shown like so many of these test screenings, like they don't like things aren't finished in them. And there's already a few scenes in this where, and like kind of just speaking to just the quality of the film, there's some like green screen stuff that's just really obvious.
Well, I mean, yeah, the visual effects they seemed more primitive than they should have felt. And a lot of it was very screensavery.
Right.
But, the thing is, this movie should have been so much better.
Yeah, it could have been. The
plot, which, I mean, this is adapted from a book.
Novel, yeah.
A novel, Immortality, Inc. by Robert Sheckley.
Yeah, and, from 1959, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm very curious. I'd be very curious to read it, actually, because I feel like the story is very interesting. And you do have a lot of people in this movie. It's like, Anthony Hopkins, one thing. David Johansen does what David Johansen does, and we love it. Rene Russo is great. Mick
Alex,
Jagger,
buddy.
Yeah, and Mick Jagger could have been better, but I think that it's just like, it was poorly directed. And I don't think that Emilio Estevez was the right person.
No. Yeah, I feel like it feels like something that they wanted Tom Cruise for at that time. And maybe like then Days of Thunder came out and we're like, No.
Yeah, you know, Tom Cruise would have been interesting. I mean, it was definitely before his action movie run.
Well, kind of it's before he gets into like, because Tom Cruise has his whole like sci-fi action subgenre.
Right. Yeah.
So it's pre that, but it's like post. Yeah, it's like just post Days of Thunder. I almost said Days of Heaven. Very different movies. Top Gun, but it feels like the type of thing where they would have wanted him for that. And yeah, Emilio Estevez, I agree, doesn't.
I think it would have been better with like, even with just like Charlie Sheen. I think it would have been better. Like, you know, it's just like, it's just falls short of working for me. And I think that a lot of it is like, I don't know if there was ever a screen test with him and Rene Russo, but I feel like they don't have any chemistry. And even though it doesn't, you know, it's not like a thing that matters, like, he's a little guy. Like, I feel like even Tom Cruise presents larger, but Emilio Estevez just presents like a little guy. And I feel like if McCandless is looking for the perfect vessel, I feel like he could have done better. You know,
like even
like he could have found somebody who was maybe just like, you know, I don't know, like an upgrade.
Yeah, but the like, you know, part of it is that that was who Julie loved.
Oh, that's true. He did do it for selfish, you know, sex reasons.
Right.
You know, I guess there was that angle to it. But also it's like, and okay, this gives away the tiniest little nothing of a thing, but like, if you're somebody who doesn't drive, why would you put yourself in the body of a race car driver? Like, I feel like there's like a lot of different, and yes, it's not like the body itself is designed for, it's not like you get the skills that the person had or anything like that.
Right.
Or I don't know, maybe you do get some of the skills, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess, well, no, because it's the consciousness and driving.
It's total consciousness. Yeah.
Like, you know, that's a skill, and, you know, you know, there's a certain amount of natural talent, but that comes with, you know, that consciousness, I think. Yeah. So, but again, he's also not planning on masquerading.
Right. It's a little confusing as to like, how he expects to get away with just, you know, having a different body,
but
and
this
Rene
is all...
Russo being okay with it, and
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, the fact that that part is not well thought out,
right? Yeah.
But yeah, I really agree with you. I've always felt this way about this movie, and I first saw this movie on VHS. I remember. Okay. I remember renting it when it came out on VHS. Like, I just remember seeing, you know, posters for it and like, oh, like this looks like it could be fun. And it's very much in that.
And it is fun. It is fun.
And because, you know what, it does fit into that early to mid 90s futuristic sci-fi, like Demolition Man.
Right.
All that. Yeah. And it's and what's fun about what I don't know if fun is the right word, but what's interesting about going back to those movies is how much they get right.
Oh no, absolutely,
about the future. Thinking about. I mean, I was recently having a conversation. This was after my rewatch of Freejack, and it was on the topic of climate change and its impact on the insurance market, specifically housing insurance, because fewer and fewer homes and fewer areas are becoming insurable. So, and specifically like coastal areas.
Right. Yeah.
And you think about where that leads to if things keep going in that direction, and it's that wealth disparity where you either have a home and you are wealthy enough that you can afford a really nice home, or you're eating like fried river rat.
Yeah.
And
Frankie Faison does an awesome job of like laying out, you know, great expositional scene of just like what's going on in the world in 2009.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, it's a wonderful, I think as we called it in Under Siege, an Eleniac, moment.
And also, the director did Under Siege 2, Dark Territory.
Oh, well, hey,
Jeff
there you
Murphy.
go.
Did he not
Yeah.
do Dark Territory? I think he did.
I believe you.
Yep, Under Siege 2, Dark Territory,
Okay.
which I'd say is the better of the Under Siege movies.
I remember you saying that. I still haven't seen it.
It's kind of great.
It's almost never streaming, and I'm just not, I don't know. I guess I just not going to a further extent for it.
Well, and just to kind of clarify a little bit of what you were just saying, because you're likening his character to kind of like the Erica Eleniak.
Yes.
But
yes.
like for Under Siege, her entire purpose was to go around the entire movie, with Steven Seagal, and it's somebody for him to explain the movie to.
Oh, right. We used it as a character choice, or as like a character type, not what was happening. Okay. So anyway, but
thank you for calling that back, because it's so funny, and I think about it all the time.
No, as do I.
Yeah. Well, in this movie, you get like little dumps of exposition. So first you have David Johansen, then you have Amanda Plummer. Who you didn't mention earlier.
Yes.
Whose character I wish was in the entire movie.
Love Amanda Plummer in this. She's as the nun. And she just does like, it's, Amanda Plummer, do what you do so well.
She's great. And, I do wonder if Quentin Tarantino, saw her, in this performance and kind of had the idea to put her into Pulp Fiction, because she's so good.
And this is coming right on the heels of The Fisher King.
Right, but she plays a completely different type of role. At least in this one, you can see her wielding a gun. And
actually, hold on, she's on the verge of getting it. Didn't Amanda Plummer get nominated for The Fisher King? Am I wrong?
You may be right.
Wow.
So
we have two people.
Yeah, well, that's totally fine. So, also with Amanda Plummer and in the Quentin Tarantino thing, isn't there a scene in True Romance where like Freejack is on a TV? I want to say that that's a thing. True Romance. We're both Googling things right now. This is the Google show. True Romance Freejack.
I'm looking up to see if she was. Oh no, she did not receive she got a BAFTA nomination for The Fisher King. She did not get an Academy Award nomination for The Fisher King.
Okay, in True Romance, Brad Pitt is watching Freejack when he's just laying on the couch.
Oh wow! No,
which is so funny, and honestly, it makes me like. His role in True Romance is so good. Yeah. But I love it even more that he's just getting high and watching Freejack. That's amazing.
I really now want to know if that was his choice.
Well, and just going back to the, Quentin Tarantino thing, I wonder if that was even in the script.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's,
True Romance was 93. I don't know how the production coincides. I guess early 92 is when this was released and everything.
It's also so funny to me that like Tarantino and Brad Pitt were connected at that stage in their careers.
Yeah.
Because I often forget about it and I think of, I want to say Inglourious Bastards as like their first collaboration. And I don't know how involved Tarantino was with the production of True Romance that Tony Scott directed, but it's definitely like his screenplay, and it definitely feels much more like his film than, let's say, like Natural Born Killers.
Wait a second. Okay, so True Romance, it has the same music as Badlands, starring Martin Sheen, father of Emilio Estevez. Dan, I'm freejacking out right now.
Oh my God. Wow. I don't know.
So, okay. Back to Freejack, which I'm so happy I get to say.
Yes, back to Freejack.
So I had a really good time watching this movie, and I had watched it, not too long before this most recent rewatch, maybe 7 months or so. And it was, when I watched it that first time, it was one of those just like, oh, I've heard of this movie. And I've got the time. I could enjoy putting this on. And it was just like, what the hell am I watching right now? This is bananas. And all of the decisions are so weird. But like we're saying, like at the core of it, there's a really good story there. And yes, I'd love to read the source material, but also it's like this was written by Dan Gilroy, who at the time wasn't much of anything, but just the other day, from when we're recording this, won an Emmy for Andor, and is being really propped up as being one of our days like more incredible writers and filmmakers, of course, of the Gilroy brothers. I think all three of them are in the because Tony Gilroy, of Michael Clayton.
Right.
That one was Tony, right?
Yeah, it's funny. I was like, I don't want to say it. I'm like, which one did Michael Clayton?
Michael Clayton. Michael
So,
Clayton.
yeah, and he also did the Bourne Legacy.
Yeah,
I remember that because that was actually what got me like interested in seeing that movie. Reconnects with Rene. He did Nightcrawler, the Jake Gyllenhaal, Rene Russo.
Dan Gilroy.
Yes, Dan Gilroy.
Right, yeah, because he met Rene Russo on the set of Freejack, and then they, are still living happily ever after, to my knowledge. So John Gilroy is an editor who edited Billy Madison. He also did Michael Clayton and the Bourne Legacy, Duplicity, Nightcrawler, Pacific Rim. So
they're
ain't
twins.
No slouch. Oh, are they? Which ones are twins?
John and Dan.
John. Hey, that's our names.
Hey. Right, they do a podcast.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're twins.
Yeah. Oh, that's so much fun. So yeah, mad respect to the Gilroy brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've been plowing through season 2 of Andor, and I just watched the episode that he actually won the Emmy for, which is called Welcome to the Rebellion.
And sorry, and now I'm of course like making the Rene Russo connection because she's also in Two for the Money, which he wrote, and he wrote The Fall, the Tarsem Singh film, which I remember watching. I didn't see it in the theater, but I remember thinking it was really good.
That's the one with, is that Lee Pace?
Yeah, with Lee Pace, where he's in the hospital bed, like he's the 1920s like movie star.
I somewhat inexplicably like purchased the movie on like Apple TV. I think it might have been like the first movie I bought on like Apple TV or something.
Oh no,
and I was just like, man, what made me buy that one? It's good, but it's not like one that I think I'll ever really watch again. But I like Lee Pace.
I don't know. Yeah, I remember thinking it was really cool. The visuals were really impressive on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, yeah. So Dan Gilroy, no slouch, and yeah, like Freejack has a lot of good stuff in it, and it's just like a mishandled. It sounds like a studio botch job, a director who didn't like really mesh with the material, a star who really didn't, all these things that we're saying, it just sounds like something that, it didn't work out.
You were mentioning that this is kind of at a time when there's all these other like, science fiction, future thing, action type things going on, Total Recall.
Well, Total Recall,
one. And
Judge
there's
Dredd.
Right, yeah, but there's so many others, and I mean other like Philip K. Dick adaptations too.
Oh yeah,
and it's like this one. It seems like they were just like, oh, we could get this one cheap. Let's do this one, and we're trying to capitalize on it, and it just wasn't it wasn't in the right hands. And yeah, I mean, Emilio Estevez, there's something about him too that's just like, I don't buy him being able to like escape from these bounty hunters and everything. And Mick Jagger, I feel like with the right director could be good, And this was also at like a time when like, the Rolling Stones weren't like, at the top of everybody's mind.
No.
It was kind of like in a dip, I'd say, because I feel like once they started to just like do all their farewell tours for the next 20 years, that's when, they had a bit of they kind of regained legend status. And this was like trying to figure out what his next move was.
Right. Yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
Whatever moves they were like Jagger. So I couldn't help it.
You could have.
No, I didn't want to. But, actually having seen this movie, when it was first out on VHS and for as long, ever since then, Mick Jagger's performance is really what I associate with this movie and how campy it is.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I want to shout out all of the great names in this movie because Vasendek is an awesome, like,
Victor
and I don't know,
Vasendek.
I don't know if it's taken from the book, but like, what a great name. McCandless is such a strange name. And also it's like the person who says it the most is Mick Jagger. And it sounds so weird coming out of his mouth, I think.
McCandless.
Michelet. Jonathan Banks' character.
Great
name. These are names that people don't really have.
Although it reminds me of Ray Nicolette from Out of Sight and Jackie Brown.
Yes, absolutely, totally.
But Michelet, great name.
Alex Furlong is like the worst name in this. It's so bland.
It's the worst name, and since this came out like so soon after Terminator 2, you just think of Edward Furlong.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just makes his name makes the other ones just seem even better because it's so dull in comparison.
Yeah, Julie Redland.
Okay, it's whatever.
But Victor Vasendek and Mark Michelet. That's
Mark Michelet. So lots of alliterative names,
right?
Here. What's McCandless's first name? Do you have that in front of you?
Ian.
Oh, okay,
Ian.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, just Ian.
You know what? I did find the one moment pretty cool looking when we don't know that it's McCandless in the moment, but like we just see the guy and he takes the hood off and it's like a hologram of Emilio Estevez. I thought that didn't look terrible.
Like I want this body thing. Yeah. No, that was
it has to be him or whatever he says, something like that.
Yeah, no, it was cool. There were so many moments where you're just like, the potential.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm trying to think. I wish I had a list of like my favorite Mick Jagger lines, like the ones that he does.
I'll tell you, like my favorite is when he's counting and he says Mississippi between the numbers. Because it's so strange that he's saying Mississippi. Like, I think that it's the fact that he's not American and he's saying, I don't know if like non-Americans say Mississippi to kind of space out numbers when you're counting seconds.
Probably not.
I feel like, 1/1000 is maybe
They're like,
a better
we're
way
British.
to do it.
We don't need to say something to know how long a second is. We just
one Mississippi.
Just say one. Two and speak like a normal human being.
I really enjoyed that. I mean, here's a great moment when Alex is trying to prove that he is McCandless and they're having him recite his like ID number.
Yeah.
And he's like 6 and Vasendek is like, that's correct. And it's like, it almost seemed like his ID number was just 6. But then the next number he says is 9. And it's just like, is he just saying 69? It's so funny.
He just says it over and over.
Yeah, 696969. And he's like, honestly, that's completely true. That's correct.
Absolutely correct.
That was very silly. I mean, everything that was up in that, like the 200th floor stuff was pretty wild.
Yeah.
The consciousness zone or whatever it was called.
Right. Yeah. Like it was weird. It was weird and it was fun. It was like, oh, okay. All right. This is what's next.
Yeah.
This is where we're going.
And there were some moments that I was a little surprised by. There were a few twists in it I mean, there were like four too many like twists or whatever. And, but I enjoyed it because it was that kind of a movie.
Yeah.
And, you know, you do want Visendak to, I don't know, turn a little bit. And so it's a little satisfying when like there is, you know, there are those moments.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because like it's Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's just fun.
He's fun.
And, hey, Jerry Hall pops up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So Isai Morales. The reason why I winced a little bit when you said his name, because you were saying that you're always happy when he pops up. I did not like him in the Mission Impossible movies. Speaking of the Tom Cruise, you know, action. Well, those weren't
consciousness.
So much sci-fi. Well, I guess they turned
AI.
into sci-fi a little bit. Yeah. So I didn't love Isai Morales. I think that he would have been better as like a different Mission Impossible villain.
Well,
and
yeah, I mean, it was also like kind of like it was like the script was just kind of like weak and
the last two were
he wasn't given the best material to work with, and honestly I
don't
feel like
blame him, but it's just like God, now I see him and I think about those movies.
Oh no, you see, I still think of him riding that motorcycle in the opening credits of La Bamba.
Right, of La Bamba, yes, you. He was great in La Bamba, yeah. And he's good in this. I mean, he has a very small role, but he's got the cool like little one color sunglass thing, which of course was such a big early 90s thing to do.
So early 90s.
Yeah.
But it was fun, nostalgic, you know?
Yeah. But I thought that he was fine in this movie where he's not given much to do.
No.
But it was one of those moments where like I saw him and I'm just like, wait, is that Isai Morales? Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. Yeah. There's really not too much more to this movie.
No.
We haven't talked about the car crash at all or anything that happens in the 90s segment for it. I thought that all looked really good. I thought they did a pretty good job, you know, doing that whole stunt work and that scene and everything. That was a lot of fun. And also it's like, you know, he's doing Formula One, which is like super popular right now. And it's almost like ahead of its time in the way that like that is celebrity status thing. That's true. Like being an F1 driver. So
that's true. Yeah, not so much in 91 or 92.
Right. Yeah. So. I mean, the way that they depict it, it's like it almost looks like there's not a big crowd watching this thing, even though it's like, you know, televised and he's celebrity enough that, you know, people in the future know who he is. I guess because he had this tragic crash, that's probably a good way to be famous. Oh. But yeah, so
yeah,
I don't know.
Right.
But the crash looked good.
The crash looked good, and you know, I mean, I guess what else? What more can we say other than what do you do with this?
Well, I did, of course, have the thought to like expand on Isai Morales' character and have that kind of be the origin for his like, you know, getting involved with like the IMF and everything with Mission Impossible. But no, I think that what they should do with this is I think that Dan Gilroy should, you know, do a new draft of the script, freshen it up, and they should just try it again. And the thing is, like, this is a new type of thing that I'm talking about doing this, where it's not a reboot, it's a do-over. Where it's like
it's a remake.
Well, it's a do-over.
Although I guess it's a filmmaker remaking their own film.
Yeah, I think that it's like when there's a movie that is not beloved, but the bones are really strong and like there is just the production didn't have things going for it. It's just like, okay, let's just try this again. And because like a remake, you're typically doing something that is beloved, and the reason why you're remaking it is because there's a fan base for it, and there's, you know, reason to revisit this property that is kind of feeding off of the fandom of this in the first place.
But there are, and I wish I could tell you some off the top of my head, but I think there are also those remakes that like, you know, hey, they tried this before and they couldn't make it work then. Let's make it work now. Remakes. And maybe like, and I don't know, like, I don't know how big like the original thing, like The Thing. I don't know how popular
that's fair.
was, but that feels so it's like, yeah, there's the remakes of like, you know, I guess worst case scenario, like the Gus Van Sant Psycho remaking a classic and trying to do it shot by shot.
Yeah. I just found like a Reddit post and somebody says Little Shop of Horrors, which I don't know if I would call the original a bad one. I mean, I think that they took something that was a good movie and they just made it different, but you're a Little Shop.
Here's why I say not Little Shop, because the 1986 Little Shop of Horrors is a film adaptation of the stage musical, which is an adaptation of the original film. It's not a remake of the original film.
So this is an interesting one, and this is one that we've talked about before, but somebody mentions Gaslight. You know, that's a super interesting one because it was remade just a couple years later.
Right.
I think it was like 41 and 44 or something like that. But yeah, I don't know necessarily if the original one was like actually bad. I think it's just like they're just like, hey, let's do this again. See, somebody says Dune, but that's the thing is it's just a readaptation, so that doesn't really count.
Right.
Somebody says Thomas Crown Affair, but the Steve McQueen Thomas Crown Affair is good.
That was a high profile movie and it was a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody does say The Blob, which I think is, I don't know. That's debatable because the original is iconic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think, and it doesn't, it hardly feels like the 88 version is even trying to like top it or say like, you know.
Somebody else said The Fly, which is an interesting one.
Oh yeah. See, I've never seen the original.
I've seen clips from it. I haven't seen the full
thing.
But
that feels like something
be like bad.
But that also feels like something where you could say like, okay, this concept didn't work out. It came out kind of cheesy, like maybe on that level of Freejack, like, you know, it's fun, but it's kind of cheesy. But like, you know, David Cronenberg comes along and says like, I could take this and really make this work.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking is you could argue.
Well, no, yeah, never mind. I'm sorry. I counter argued myself out of saying what I was going to say.
Okay. Well, a good example is Freejack 1992 versus Freejack 2026.
Yeah.
They're already in production.
Spectacular.
Yeah. Well, Dan, what would you do?
So one of my thoughts was pretty much the same thing, was a remake, and my only casting suggestion was Harry Styles as Vasendak.
Oh. Okay. All right.
That was just kind of like my, like, who could do that? Like, I'm like, who could honor Mick Jagger's work properly?
Well, but that's the question, is like, does a redo or remake, you know, how many nods to the original need to be there, or do you kind of just wipe the slate clean?
Well, I guess, and if it's a like Dan Gilroy remaking or retooling his own script, maybe there's more of the original DNA in there.
You know, and like I said, I'm watching Andor season 2 right now. Take the cast of Andor and put him in there. Yeah, the guy who played, and Dan, I don't know if you've watched any Andor. You told me you watched a little bit.
Yeah, I've seen a few
episodes. The guy who plays Cyril would be a really great Vasendak. You know, Diego Luna would be an amazing Alex Furlong. You know, give him maybe a spicier name. Diego Luna is awesome. And honestly, that's somebody who you would look at and be like, I want that guy's body.
Yeah.
You know, he's handsome as hell.
Was it Stellan Skarsgård?
Stellan Skarsgård, great McCandless. Perfect. Is a perfect McCandless. I mean, there's so many. You could get Benjamin Bratt in there as
right?
Jonathan Banks' character. I'm blanking on.
Michelet.
Michelet. That's right,
Dude. He would be a great Michelet.
Benjamin Bratt would be a great Michelet. Yeah, you've got such a good cast to pull from if you just kind of like go to the Andor players, and you've got like all these amazing people, whether they were guest stars or regulars. You've got an awesome cast there. But yeah, Stellan Skarsgård as McCandless would actually be amazing.
Great.
I don't know if that's like because he's also, in Dune as the like big baddie. I don't know if that's too similar, but
it's such a different type of baddie.
He could also be Michelet. Like he'd be awesome there too.
Yeah.
Or he could be the David Johansen character. I don't know. He's good at he's good in any situation. I think Stellan Skarsgård.
I agree.
Yeah.
No. The other idea I had was I thought that if you took the world of Freejack and kind of the concept of Freejacks and you broadened it and you expanded it out into a series, I felt like animated. I pictured like anime. I felt like
well, as soon as you said it, I was thinking like Ghost in the Shell type stuff.
Right. Like the Akira visuals keep popping into my head when I think about it. So, something like that, taking that concept of the wealthy being able to purchase bodies and transport them, and what happens when one of these people comes, because also like it sounds like they have a name for this type of person, so it must have happened before.
Well, and I'll tell you something that's also really cool about Freejack is that like they acknowledge that like the technology to do this is like pretty primitive and janky and not a precise thing, and so it's like the fact that they're able to do it is super risky because the technology is wonky as hell, and I really appreciate that they don't have it to be like this is something that they do all the time. There's like a clinic to do it. Now a Freejack is somebody who is brought in and then escapes, or is it just somebody who's brought in to be a body? That's
no, it's somebody who escaped. Yeah. Somebody who's brought in and
wasn't there, and then isn't there a name for just somebody who's brought in? Isn't there like some other kind of? I feel like there was something that one of the exposition characters, introduced into the script that like probably just got lost in the shuffle. But I feel like there was some sort of name for that type of thing. But yeah, like you said, if it happens enough for there to be a name for it, then you think that they would probably, because it's like they're so shocked that he regained consciousness and escaped, as if like that was such a rare thing. But if there's a name for it, to the fact that like if he says people are saying I'm a Freejack, and then it shocks people,
right? Yeah, I mean, there's he's a Freejack.
Yeah,
that one moment there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like those are my ideas. Like I'd be curious if I saw that, like, if Netflix had like the Freejack animated series or something, I'd be like, I might check that out. But also if I heard Dan Gilroy was doing this was remaking it, I'd be down for that.
You know what? And Dan Gilroy's white hot right now, so I feel like now's the time to do it. You know what? I was wondering if he had any screenplays produced before this. I'm just going to quickly zap over to... No, this is his first. Freejack, then Chasers.
Oh.
Directed by Dennis Hopper.
Chasers co-starring Erika Eleniak?
Oh my God, is that Erika Eleniak? Oh my God, it is. Tom Berenger, William McNamara, Gary Busey. Oh, Gary Busey and Erika Eleniak. Yet again.
Back together again.
Oh my God, that is so funny. And then, as you said, Two for the Money, The Fall, Real Steel, The Bourne Legacy, Nightcrawler, Kong Skull Island, which I really enjoyed.
Oh yeah.
Roman J. Israel Esquire, which I've never seen, but I actually... Now knowing more about Dan Gilroy, who also directed Roman J. Israel Esquire, it makes me want to see it. And I've been on like a bit of a Denzel kick lately. Highest to Lowest. Dan, did you watch Highest to Lowest?
I did watch Highest to Lowest.
Okay, me too. What'd you think about it?
I liked it.
I thought it was good.
I liked it.
There's a certain thing that's happening in a lot of Spike Lee movies where like they take a moment where it kind of takes a bit of a left turn, and it's just like, we just need to pause for a second just to teach you about something. So like in this one, it's all about the ebony alert, thing,
right.
where it's just
yes.
we paused the rest of the movie to talk about ebony alerts for a second, and it's
The
just, like,
ebony
raising
alert.
awareness.
I found that there was something where like I had a moment realizing that like Jeffrey Wright was in a scene that takes place in a room where there's Basquiat paintings.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It was just one of those like no one calls it out, but I was just like, hey, Basquiat.
Yeah. There was a Jeffrey Wright line where I was just like, ugh, come on. That was such a, oh God, what was it? It was towards the end, and he's like making jokes in the car, and he makes a reference to something else that somebody else in the movie was in, and I'm spacing on it right now.
Oh.
God, now it's going to bother me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, was it like another Denzel Washington?
No. Oh my God. All right. Give me a second here. He's making references to different insurance. Because he names his guns, and he like has one of them that's like called, something from like some insurance commercial. I think there's another one that's called Mayhem, which is Dean Winter's character.
Yes. I noticed that, and also had a kind of similar response.
I was just like, oh, come on.
Also, because it's like we're referencing like the State Farm commercials,
right? Yeah. Oh, right. He calls one of them Jake from State Farm, I think.
Yeah, Jake from State Farm. Isn't another one Flo from Progressive?
You know what? If he had 3 guns, I'm sure that would have happened.
Possibly. I don't know. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, highest to lowest I thought was fine.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine.
Makes me want to watch, the Kurosawa.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, me as well. Denzel Washington's good. Like, he's seen in the recording studio with A$AP
That
Rocky.
was really good.
Yeah.
That was really good. And he was great in it, I thought. I thought that he was really fantastic.
Yeah.
And yeah, the way that scene kind of like takes the two of them and like, the shots and kind of splits them together and everything. That was really great. And yeah, he's fantastic. I really, Denzel Washington, nobody does it like him.
No.
And I recently watched Inside Man again for the,
good.
12th time or something. And that's one where they take a moment to like talk about violence in video games.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, oh, this has nothing to do with the movie, but okay.
We just need to take a. Yeah, but this one I felt was a little less of Spike Lee's voice in it, like just in those moments.
Right.
But, like those moments, the moments when like, Denzel's like talking to like, the great black musicians, kind of like their spirits trying to, if that felt more like a Spike moment.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
There. Yeah. So, but I'm a big fan. So.
You know what? I'm happy that he does what he does because no one else can do it.
No. And I like I said, I'm a big fan of Spike Lee, and I still need to go back and watch like a lot of his like lower profile films and his documentaries, but because I'm so interested by when I go back and rewatch things like Do the Right Thing and even Inside Man and Bamboozled was my favorite. And like I recently was watching a little even of Summer of Sam.
Oh yeah. We talked about that recently. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I gotta go back. I gotta fill in the blanks there in that filmography, see what I haven't seen.
Yeah. Well, Dan, before you talk about what we're going to cover on our next episode, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. It really means a lot to us, and it means even more to us when you rate and review us on the podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, leave a comment on Spotify. We're on YouTube. You can watch us on YouTube or on Spotify. You can see the look on my face when Dan mentioned always happy seeing Isai Morales pop up. And this is our third season that's coming to a close pretty soon. And what we've been doing, it's been a year-long series, 52 episodes, where we've done 26 episodes going up the alphabet, movie titles in alphabetical order, and then 26 episodes going down the alphabet, Z to A. And this was our second F episode. Like we said earlier, F for Fake was our first F episode. Dan, what are we doing for our next E episode?
For our next E episode, so I'll lead into this, and we will say more on the episode. But if you have followed Ruined Childhoods, you know that John and I are both huge fans of the late great legend Robert Redford, who passed away. We're recording this on September 19th. And Robert Redford passed away was on the 17th,
16th or 17th,
or earlier this week. And we've covered so many of his films.
We went ahead and just did like a long string of them for a while. I don't even know if it was just a month. We said, you know what, let's just do a whole bunch of Robert Redford movies.
Right. And just, big fans of him as an actor, a filmmaker, an activist, a human. And so, as we come to our E episode, we found the perfect opportunity to kind of honor him and his work. So we're going to be talking about 1979's The Electric Horseman, starring Robert Redford, Jane Fonda, Willie Nelson, and directed by Sidney Pollack.
Yeah. Now, this is Robert Redford's only movie beginning with the letter E.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of like, we really want to talk about him, one more time, right on the heels of his passing. And you know what? If it's going to be a lesser known of his movies, then so be it. And we get to talk about his works with Jane Fonda.
Right.
Again, we talked about Barefoot in the Park before.
That's right.
Did we do? He has one other one with Jane Fonda, I believe.
He had a more recent one with Jane Fonda. I know we didn't do that.
Yeah.
But, was it, oh no, never mind. That's not with Robert Redford. That's James Caan. It was Along Comes a Horseman, I think, or something like that. I think Jane Fonda's in that with James Caan. But anyway, no. And we'll, on that next episode, like we'll run down all of the Robert Redford films that we've talked about. We've done one of his directorial efforts, Quiz Show.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But so many of the films he's starred in, and I don't know that we're going to say anything that we haven't said before, but it's so worth saying it, and he
is worthy of celebration. He's worthy of celebration no matter what.
Anyway, if you want to share your thoughts on Robert Redford, his life, his career, which, of his works have touched you, please email us at ruinedchildhoodspod@gmail.com.
Or if you have ideas on how you'd want to resurrect Freejack, which is an appropriate way of phrasing it, we'd love to hear from you. And,
if only we could have put Robert Redford into. If only we could have gotten
put him into Brad Pitt's body, like officially.
Yeah. The process is complete. It's just taken a long time.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah. Well, Dan, as you are racing in your F1 car and careening towards a giant Nissan sign, I wish you a good journey.
That does sound like a good journey.